Smash JT decided to go all in on attacking conservatives and Christians just a few months ago, and he did so because of the game Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, in which there's a graphic gay sex scene in it, and he decided to actually watch that gay sex scene, say it was great and not woke. He literally said this. This is his words. He had a whole video saying gay sex is not gay. If you want to have any kind of corporate shilling, you know exactly how this goes. This is really wild. And at that point, I was like, this is very bizarre. And instead of just talking about games and talking about gameplay, which is what we tend to do when we talk about our video game topics here on the channel, he made it very personal and started going after me personally. I think he saw some sort of clout situation here, and I don't know, but it seems like the way he reacted, I think he was actually paid by the people at Kingdom Comes Deliverance 2 to do this. We know that a lot of these video game companies, to try to prop up their games, do pay influencers. And Ubisoft, for instance, paid $2.1 million, including paying thousands to Hassan to do these sort of things. And it seemed very coordinated at the time. Daniel Vavra, the guy from Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, who's the head of Warhorse Studios, started bizarrely personally attacking me because of my criticism of his video game, something that a Smash JT type, from where he's at, should have stood against. Anybody going and personally attacking somebody over video games, like and trying to destroy them, that's a big leftist move. That's why we're here. That's what Gamergate was all about to begin with, because when all that went down, remember, you would talk about video games and say you want ethics in gaming journalism, you want that reviews to be honest and the like, and then they'd go and try to destroy you if you were there. They'd try to completely personally destroy you in the process because of this. Well, this is what this guy did, and it was very, very suspect at the time. He was joined by a few other bad actors out there like Hypnotic Gaming, and what they did at the time was systematically go through different Christians and conservative influencers and just try to personally attack them over and over again for their own clout sort of structure here. Well, they're back again because I've started talking about a Gamergate 3, because this is really Gamergate 2.0, what they were doing and kind of building up. For a while there, it seemed like they were on the side of everybody who just didn't want woke stuff in video games. And what is woke stuff in video games? Well, we don't want all the transgender, non-binary, type 1 bodies, type 2 body crap, right? We don't want all the gay crap. We don't want all the black, lesbian, disabled replacement characters, right? And this is going on across culture. It's not just video games. We've seen it in comics. We've seen it in movies. We see it in every commercial that's thrown in front of us. There's definitely a psyop going on from the left to try to diversify things, and there's an objective to it. It's to erase white people. That is the thing a lot of people won't tell you, but I don't mince words here. I just tell the truth, and that's why we're growing, and that's why this movement's doing very, very well. It's also to erase men and to erase all masculinity. Masculinity is seen as toxic and a bad trait, so it's always about a female replacement and things like that. On top of this, they want to erase Christendom, because Christianity was what our country was built on. That's exactly what our ethos of human exceptionalism and freedom is based on, because we're made in the image of God. And so they want that gone from the public square. People like Smash JT are, in my opinion, just leftists who have been put in here to do this kind of thing in order to just go at things. Now, he opens his video here where he's talking about this grifter tries to invent Gamergate 3 to sell a book, ... Now, if you look at my posts, it's not about selling books whatsoever. It's just about, hey, Gamergate 2 didn't have principles, and that's kind of why it started to fall apart and why people like this got propped up by corporations like the Embracer Group, who was, in charge of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And it kind of got off track because of that. And it got these clout chasers here, the people who were trying to push YouTube drama live streams, kind of corrupted things. I've seen this before because I've seen all these movements come and go. Of course, Comicsgate did much the same thing. There were a bunch of, we were supposed to fight back against, mainstream comics and Marvel and DC and actually produce our own stuff. And then on top of that, like what happened was it devolved into YouTuber drama of people basically attacking conservatives. It's the exact same thing. So I've seen this multiple times, and I've stood the course the entire time. It's really funny. They call me a grifter, but it's like that's the opposite of what I'm doing. The funny part is these guys are actually grifting because they're all about super chats and all about that. I don't mind losing some revenue or whatever if it means telling the truth. I'm a real very principled journalist, and I know those don't exist much anymore, and that's just kind of why we're just steadily going along, and we don't have these big fake growths like some of these people do. You can see the trajectory where it's very propped up and it's very obvious at times. So that's kind of the backstory here. Now, he started attacking me personally for no reason when I was criticizing that video game. I actually liked the guy. I was like I said, a lot of this stuff I had no problem with any of these people. I thought I was allowed to have a different opinion on a video game than other people were. That's not allowed. And this is where things started to change. It became a cult of personality around these people, and they started to dictate and gatekeep that you're allowed to like certain games or not allowed to like certain games just based on what they say, and you're not allowed to like have any other opinion. I don't police other people's video games, what they like or content or anything like that. I don't care what you do. It's not my purview. However, if I see something woke in a game and if I see a corporation doing something like that, I'm going to call it out. And that is exactly what I'm here for. I'm here to fight the culture war for real. So that's the opposite of a grift, right? The real grift here is the super chats on drama for me, right? And so this is what these guys are doing. It's very, very sad. So I made this list, like I said, and I mentioned what the principles are at the start of this video already. We're already 5 minutes into it. And I would like you to hit the like and subscribe button. Join us if you are in on the culture war, if you want to preserve Western civilization, if you want to preserve Christianity, if you want to preserve conservatism in America, if you're a Trump supporter, you'll probably like this channel. Now, I would say that if you're not those things, I hope you enjoy my content anyway, because I like to have dialogues and open people's minds. This is not a place where we want to purity test everybody or anything like that. That doesn't do any good. I also want you to get on my newsletter. It's in the description below. And I give you 3 free books for signing up. I give you a science fiction book, a fantasy book, and a graphic novel. And this is so I can stay in touch with you guys, because it's super important, because you never know with algorithm how things go. So sign up for my newsletter. Thank you guys so much for being here and joining us. I have new books out all the time because I spend most of my time writing. That's why I'm not on these live streams. That's why these guys don't get to know me and I don't get all like chummy with them, because I'm busy. I spend my time writing. I spend my time actually creating. I'm an artist at heart, and that's who I am. So nice to meet you guys. Thank you if you're new here. Appreciate it. So yeah, Smash attacked me out of nowhere, and I was actually advised at the time when this was going down, because I'm like, what's going down? This is a video game. And these people are going crazy on me. A guy named Master of the TDS, who runs a X account, who does really good work. He exposes a lot of problems with these algorithms and problems with bots and the like, problems with Sweet Baby Inc. He said, you know what, why don't you message Smash JT and these guys and just talk it, because you guys are on the same side and all that. And so I said, okay, I'll do that. And I did, and I messaged Smash JT, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but like, you personally attacked me. You've libeled me on your live streams. He seemed like he was drunk on those. And so I kind of forgive him for that. It is what it is. These people get drunk on live streams and do what they do. And I said, none of this stuff's true, and you need to stop saying that kind of stuff. And he came to like an accord with me. It seemed okay. And so I posted, and what's interesting is because I saw the social pressure of his clout group, I posted that, hey, I talked to Smash JT, everything's good. And he liked it. And everything was good for a couple hours. Well, that tweet circulated about, and of course, I always try to talk to everybody who tries to attack me or whatever, because it's just not, I don't want to deal with the personal drama stuff. I got a real life, and it's, just not worth my time. And so when I did that, a couple hours later, he then made a post saying it's not good and that I'm crazy, whatever, etc. But, the opposite of what he said in the DMs there, which was like, okay, I tried. And then he just went hard and started making videos about me like this one here, where the grifter tries to invent Gamergate 3, right? So this is flaring up again because of a new game that's out right now. And again, this is Expedition 33. And from Expedition 33 is like a turn-based RPG sort of thing that's strategic and cool. Apparently has really good gameplay, and I've not gotten around to it yet. And it seems to have pretty decent art design overall. It has a bunch of Ubisoft former employees involved with it. It's a French game, so it's going to have a little wokeness in it probably, right? Now, most people have not seen that in the storyline or anything like that from what I've been able to tell so far. But George Torch pointed this out here real quick. Expedition 33 reports are true. How does a game that opens in sundered early 1900s Paris, set to a beautiful French song, end up with a town full of characters straight from south of midnight? And what he refers to is there's random black people here, and there's random lesbians, and there's random, like diversity people. Now, this is the Netflix-style casting that we see all over in everything. Every single TV show now has one black person, one Asian or Hispanic or Indian person, one lesbian, one gay, and no white males who are really like strong white male leads. And so this is kind of odd that they would set something like in this kind of France fantasy deal like this. It doesn't make any sense. No society actually looks like this. Even like our modern, quote, society doesn't look like this. You don't have these parties of 5 or 6 people that look exactly the same every single time stamped across things. And this has been going on all the way around. Like comics have been doing it. Of course, the movies have been doing it. We've seen the new like Disney, MCU crap is now like, Muslim Ms. Marvel and Captain Marvel, she's the best lead because she's a strong female. And it goes across the line in every single film, in every single TV show, every single book, every single comic, every single video game now has this diversity casting about it. And so even if this is a good game or whatnot, it is worth pointing out that, guys, this is doing the exact same thing, and this is a French product, so of course they're doing that because they love to push that agenda in France. They are very leftist in France, yes. And so I pointed out on this, people are reacting poorly to this. It shows how far the culture has fallen to the slippery slope of generic Hollywood diversity casting. You don't even notice it anymore because it's in everything, and that's not a good thing. And that's exactly what's going on, and that's exactly what we're trying to do here, is change this. Because, he says it's grifting. But the whole point is not to make a few bucks off this. It doesn't matter whether somebody sends me a super chat or not. I don't really stream. It doesn't matter whether somebody buys my $3 book on Amazon or not. Not a big deal. And most of my sales, believe it or not, just come from the Amazon algorithm, which is its own thing. So if you don't know how Amazon works, Amazon is basically pay to play at this point. And so you set up a bunch of ads and you end up being in different spots on here. So products related to this item, these are all paid ads right here. So when you're scrolling through this through this stuff, you'll see other stuff coming up. You see that like Justified, which is my book. I have my other 2 books coming up because I've targeted an SEO Justified so that my books come up right away on that, right? And so that's very important. So when you could do to any search like this too, you have sponsored product ads come up right here. So look at this, sponsored. This is, for organic super grain. So, I don't know why that's coming up on this, but it is. So this is what Amazon is, and I'd say 90% of my book sales and the like come from my robust Amazon ads. I actually spend hours every day programming more ads to get going. I sell a few from YouTube here and there, but it's not like anything at all. It's ridiculous to say that there's any kind of grift here. I'm not really making money off this. I'm doing this for the culture war. That's the entire purpose of my being here. And so I made this post about the culture war, like I said. And so Gamergate 2 failed because they called wokeness not woke if it was popular. And that seems to be the thing. They've created games that they say are popular or not, and then they go out there and they say, whether it's no woke or not, it is just totally based on that. It's interesting that Smash JT didn't open on this or anything like that. He just says that he doesn't get along with me or whatever. That's entirely one-sided. I had no issue with this guy. Like I said, he just started coming at me, making nasty personal attacks, and it's absurd because in theory, we want the same things, which is wokeness out of video games, right? We can disagree on, if he thinks that that this game's great and wants to play it or whatever, God bless. I don't have a problem with that. What he has a problem with is I'm not, me or Yorch or whatever is not allowed to criticize it at this point. We're not allowed to notice that it has this Hollywood casting, and we're not allowed to talk about it. Otherwise, they have to try to personally destroy us. What's that sound like? That sounds like leftism, right? And that's exactly what's going on here. And that's what I've seen with Smash JT is he always defends the corporate leftist stuff that's kind of popular, right? And there's no value structure for it except for, hey, what can I get clicks? Like I said, he's the actual grifter here for sure in this situation, which is pretty funny. And so you look at this stuff, it's like, well, what does he stand for? Well, he stood for Kingdom Come Deliverance to gay sex. He says that he has no problem with transgenderism and that he supports it. He has said this. These are tweets he's actually made. So it's like, well, what's the difference between him and Kotaku then? Because that's what they want in video games, right? And so this is why I said it's time for Gamergate 3 to make it explicitly right-wing, otherwise it turns to shit. And that's what I've always said, is anything not explicitly right-wing does always turn to shit, right? So I said some more about this. We talked about the principle. We have PRO's diversity, equity, and inclusion, critical race theory in video games. Again, he should agree with this if he's really anti-woke. That is anti-wokeness, right? This is the most important part of art, and I put Kim Belair from Sweet Baby Inc. there because that's what she's all about. So if he agrees with what she agrees with, then he's not on the right side of this. We have no tolerance for pronoun BS, right? We want male and female. We don't want the non-binary stuff in there. I think this is stuff most people agree with. We have no tolerance for promotion of evil LGBTQ lifestyles. It's degenerate. It has no place in gaming, right? porn should be banned. Above all, it's only all of the above only exists because of pornography. And if you look at this type of stuff, it all comes back to that. And because everybody gets desensitized, they then push into things. And that's exactly what this agenda is. It's about desensitizing you to all this stuff so that they can replace white people in this instance, right? Or then they can put their next sexual perversion in there, that they can groom children. That's really where the next step is in all of this, right? And so that's exactly what we talk about in terms of this stuff. No tolerance for feminism. Feminism leads to equivocation and pushing of leftist agendas through emotional nonsense. And then we're inherently Christian right-wing because these values are good. We want to promote good in the world. And without objective morals, you cannot have good, period. So very simple stuff. And he took exception to it, I guess. I mean, he made this whole video throwing a fit about me like he always does. He's been on X just throwing a fit about Yorch Torch and me. And then, of course, it's been some weird stuff. Even Endymion kind of got in on this tweet because they wanted to virtue signal against what Yorch Torch said here, which is weird because if he just noticed that there's a diversity issue with the game, why isn't he allowed to have that opinion? Are you guys being paid or something like that? I don't understand. Like, let people have opinions on video games. That's the whole point of what we're trying to do here. So that's what's going on today. It's interesting stuff. I like I said, I try not to give it too much credence, but I did want to highlight my actual Gamergate 3 sort of things because I think we do need to build a movement with real values and with realness to it that is absolutely opposed to woke. And I'm glad you guys are here, and I hope you discover us because of that. So thank you for highlighting what we're doing, Smash JT. I think it's important that this is going on. I'm sad that you are fighting the fight on behalf of the left. There's definitely more than enough influencers out there who do that. I hope you enjoy yourself with Vaush and Hassan and Kotaku and all the people that you stand with in your values. I stand against that, and that's why we're going to build something new. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button, guys. Make sure to sign up for my newsletter so you don't miss any of my book releases or anything like that. I think you'll enjoy my stuff. Like I said, I give them away for free. Just so you can sign up and stay in touch because you never know about these algorithms. We got to make ourselves decentralized from algorithm-based platforms because if we're going to build, this is how we got to do so. And we have to build also through creating content, creating our own stories that don't have this stuff in it. I appreciate you guys for being there. What do you think about this? Leave a comment down below. We'll be back soon.